Francis Ngannou, the former heavyweight champion of the UFC, recently made a decision to leave the organization. This news came as a shock to many fans and industry experts, as Ngannou was considered one of the top fighters in the sport. However, Ngannou's departure is not just about his fighting career, it is also about the way UFC handles fighter contracts and compensation. According to Ngannou, the UFC has a tendency to deceive fighters into signing bad contracts, and that many fighters are not being fairly compensated for the risks they take in the octagon. He also claimed that the UFC's pay structure is not fair and that many fighters are not getting their fair share of the revenue. Additionally, Ngannou said that the fighters don't have freedom in the UFC, and he also wants health insurance for the fighters. Dana White, the UFC chairman, has also released a statement regarding Ngannou's departure from the organization. White stated that he was disappointed by Ngannou's decision to leave the UFC, especially considering the offer that was made to him.
He offered Francis a deal that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company. More than Lesnar, more than anybody.
He also added that he believes Ngannou is scared to fight the returning John Jones, and that's the real reason he left the UFC. However, Ngannou's claims about the UFC practices cannot be ignored. The UFC has a responsibility to ensure that fighters are being fairly compensated for the risks they take in the octagon. This not only includes financial compensation, but also things like health insurance and also benefits that are important for the fighters' overall being. This not only includes financial compensation, but also things like health insurance and other benefits that are important for the fighters' overall well-being. Ngannou's departure from the UFC is a loss for the organization. He also was one of the most exciting and feared fighters in the sport. His powerful strikes and knockout made him a fan's favorite. The fans are eagerly waiting to see where he will go next and what he will accomplish. Ngannou's departure from the UFC leaves a huge void in the heavyweight division, and it will be interesting to see how the UFC fills that void. It is important to know that Ngannou's departure is not just about him, but also about the larger issues surrounding fighter pay and treatment within the UFC. It is crucial that the organization addresses this issue in order to ensure the continued success and growth of the sport and well-being of the fighters. In conclusion, the departure of Francis Ngannou from the UFC is a significant event in the world of MMA. It highlights the important issues of fighter compensation and treatment, and the need for the UFC to address these issues in order to ensure the well-being of fighters and the continued success of the organization. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more content.